Wrestling Federation President and BJP MP from UP, Brijbhushan Singh, is now in the line of fire. India's top wrestlers are up in arms against the Wrestling Federation of India, alleging sexual harassment by Brijbhushan Singh. Olympian Bajrang Punia has made an emotional appeal to the wrestling community. He requested all associated with wrestling to come forward, raise their voices to protect the game as the massive furor continues. The Sports Ministry sought an explanation from the Wrestling Federation in the next 72 hours. On Wednesday, wrestler Vinesh Phogat accused the president of deliberately targeting women wrestlers. She also said she received the death threats from Brijbhushan. Responding to the attacks, Wrestling Federation's president rubbished these allegations. He refused to resign, called it a planned conspiracy against him. Though the exception amongst all was Divya Kakran, Asian Games and Commonwealth Games medalist who sided with the federation boss. Meanwhile, politics has escalated over the standoff of the wrestlers. Congress, TMC and Samajwadi Party have questioned why no action was taken. Slamming the Modi government, opposition also questioned the safety of women in this country. Amit Dhankar, who is a wrestler, is now joining us on the phone line. Mr. Dhankar, very good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. There are some massive allegations that have been made. बहुत सारे allegations है. Wrestling Federation के खिलाफ वो allegation है. एक ऐसा स्टेटमेंट भी आया जो रेसलिंग फेडरेशन को सपोर्ट कर रहा है, बाकी सारे रेसलिंग फेडरेशन को स्लैम कर रहे हैं. आपका क्या टेक है इसमें?
सबसे पहले तो सभी देशवासियों को नमस्कार
जी.
हेलो
जी जी बिल्कुल, गो ऑन.
मैं अपने सभी देशवासियों से पहले तो यही प्रार्थना करता हूँ, हमारी कुश्ती खतरे में है, हमारी कुश्ती भी बताया जाए. हमारे लड़कियों का भविष्य खतरे में है
जी.
लड़कियों के साथ शोषण हो रहा है
जी. लड़कियां
सेफ नहीं है तो क्या है. देश में ये एक नारा है, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ. तो लड़कियों के साथ शोषण आज ये हम क्लियर भी कर देंगे. किस लड़की के साथ शोषण हुआ है वो भी आ जाएगी, सामने आ जाएगा. थोड़ी देर में हम सब कुछ क्लियर कर देंगे.
आप मुझे बताइए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एमपी है यूपी से बृजभूषण सिंह और रेसलिंग फेडरेशन के प्रेसिडेंट है, उनके खिलाफ काफी एलिगेशंस है. आप क्या कहना चाहोगे उनके खिलाफ?
देखो, हमें पार्टी का से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. पार्टी हमारे जो देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, देश के गृह मंत्री हैं, हमें पूरा विश्वास है वो हमारे साथ हैं. हमें न्याय दिलवाएंगे वो. हमने बस हमारे जो प्रेसिडेंट है, हमारे दो लड़कियों के साथ शोषण हो रहा है, हम उसके खिलाफ हैं.
नहीं बिल्कुल, आप पार्टी के खिलाफ नहीं हो अमित जी. ये रेसलिंग फेडरेशन के प्रेसिडेंट भी है, तो आपको तो कहना पड़ेगा ना क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है बृजभूषण के साथ.
नहीं, हम पार्टी के खिलाफ नहीं है, पर हम अपने प्रेसिडेंट के खिलाफ हैं. जो हमारी लड़कियों के साथ शोषण हो रहा है, प्रेसिडेंट के खिलाफ हमने अपनी रेसलिंग को बताना है
जी. और ये सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के बारे में बताइए. बहुत सारे रेसलर्स ने कंप्लेन किया है इस बारे में. मिस्टर धानकर, आपकी आवाज कट रही है, थोड़ा सा आप नेटवर्क रेंज में आ जाइए. मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको? हाँ जी, अभी आपकी आवाज भी आ रही है हमें. ये सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के जो चार्जेस है उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा एक्सपैंड कीजिए. Let's try to re-establish that connection. There's a problem with Amit Dhankar's reception at the moment. We'll come back to him in moments from now, but we're getting some reactions coming in from many wrestlers who are alleging sexual harassment charges and also complaining against the federation. Listen in.
कुश्ती बचाने के लिए मैं सभी अपने पहलवानों से, सभी कोचों से, मैं जो भी कुश्ती जगत से जुड़े हैं, तो सभी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि आप सभी भी जंतर मंतर पर जरूर पहुंचे. धन्यवाद. सभी को नमस्कार. आप सभी को पता है कि हम सभी पहलवान जंतर मंतर पर धरना दे रहे हैं कुश्ती बचाने के लिए. मैं सभी अपने पहलवानों से, सभी कोचों से, मैं जो भी कुश्ती जगत से जुड़े हैं, तो सभी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि आप सभी भी जंतर मंतर पर जरूर पहुंचे. धन्यवाद.
जो कोचेज होते हैं जो हमारे वुमेन्स कैंप में, उनमें से कुछ कोचेज, सभी नहीं है, महिलाओं के साथ भी और लड़कियों के साथ भी, और वहीं लड़कियों से बात करवाते हैं और फिर अध्यक्ष जी उनके साथ में शोषण करते हैं, और पता नहीं हजारों तो नहीं बोलूं मैं, 100 लड़कियां, और मैं यहाँ पे जो लोग लड़कियां बैठी हैं उसमें से 1-2 लड़की के साथ भी ये घटना हुई है जी,
यहाँ पे जो बैठी हैं
जी।
आज तक 10 साल से मैं कैंप में हूँ, आज तक ना तो मेरे साथ और जो मैं देखती आई हूँ ना ही किसी लड़की के साथ आज तक उन्होंने किसी को कुछ बोला है, बल्कि जो अनदर स्टेट से आते हैं, हरियाणा स्टेट के अलग हो गए, यूपी के अलग हो गए, जिन स्टेट को कोई पूछता भी नहीं है, वो उनके हित में ज्यादा रहते हैं।
आप सभी से निवेदन करता हूं, जो कुश्ती जगत से हैं, कोचेज हैं, हमारे गुरु हैं, खलीफा हैं और हमारे पहलवान हैं, ये हमारे गेम को बचाने की लड़ाई है। इसमें आप हमारे साथ खड़े हुइए। और जो हमारे प्रेसिडेंट साहब बोल रहे हैं ना कि ये तो 3% है, 97% तो मेरे साथ है। तो आप सभी एकजुट होके, क्योंकि हमें कुश्ती को बचाना है, जो आने वाला भविष्य है हमारा उसको हमें बचाना है। तो आप सभी एक बार इकट्ठा होके एकजुटता दिखाइए, क्योंकि कुश्ती को बचाना बहुत जरूरी है। कुश्ती ने ही हमें सब कुछ दिया है।
Breaking news coming in. Sources have indicated the women's national camp, which was scheduled to start from 18th, has been cancelled due to ongoing protests of the wrestlers. Sources have told India Today that 18 wrestlers had reached Lucknow to take part, and they've been asked to leave ASAP as soon as possible. Also, Jitendra Kumar, the coach who is alleged for sexual harassment, also reached Lucknow last evening. He checked in at 11:25 a.m. p.m. I'd like the producers to clarify that for me. Inside Sai campus in Lucknow. This morning, when Sai official came in to know, they immediately asked him to leave the campus, and they're making sure the coach leaves the campus ASAP. So basically, it's the coach who's been asked to leave the campus. And we're going to get you more details in terms of SAI officials meeting Bajrang Punia and Vinesh at Jantar Mantar last evening, trying to convince them to call off this particular agitation as well. They also wanted to understand what exactly the wrestlers want through this protest. So Nitin Srivastava, who's bringing us the source-based information, is getting us all the very latest details. Nitin, so 18 wrestlers who reached Lucknow basically been asked to leave on the back of the ongoing agitation. But beyond that, there is more information coming in as far as the SAI officials is concerned. If you could clarify more on that.
Well, of course, last night some of the Sports Authority of India officials came here at the Jantar Mantar, and they met Bajrang Punia, Vinesh, and some of the other athletes, wrestlers who are protesting here. And they actually wanted to understand what exactly these athletes want. So because these athletes were constantly saying that we want Bhushan Sharan Singh to be sacked from his position in WFI. So Thai officials came here, they met him, and they discussed what exactly we can do. And they also informed that we are about to issue a notice which has been issued last night. To add on to just to make our viewers aware that there was a women's national camp scheduled in Lucknow, Sai Center, and this was cancelled because ongoing protest, and 18 the female wrestlers were reached. They are asked to leave as soon as possible, and the head coach Jitendra, who is alleged for the sexual harassment, he reached actually there last night around 11:25 and checked in the Sai campus, and no Sai officials were aware about his presence at the Sai campus. Today morning, they came to know, and immediately officials called them and asked him to leave as soon as possible. So basically, Sai is in action, ministry is in action, and everybody everybody in the Sai office is trying to make these athletes cool and calm. So there will be, as of now, the information which I have, there is a slight chance that some officials from the sports ministry are likely to visit the athletes here at Jantar Mantar, and they'll speak to them, and they'll try to convince them to call off the agitation, because there is a statement
The Authority of India, the Sports Authority of India, if they've met Bajrang Punia and Vinesh at Jantar Mantar last evening, trying to convince them to call off the agitation, then is there a plausible solution that they've come up with? So you can't just ask them to call off an agitation. It is their right to voice whatever they feel against the federation, because if they're suffering for so long as alleged by them, why should they call off anything? They need to speak up.
Well, of course, that is why they are here and they're about to reach here. All the athletes, all the wrestlers are about to reach here at Jantar Mantar as soon as possible. So basically the whole idea was initiated by the Sai officials to give them some time. That is why the statement being issued from the Sports Authority of India that we have given a 72 hours time to explain that they are looking for explainer from the president of WFI. So that is why they wanted to meet them, to tell them that we are with you. And so now the protesters are here. They are here. They are back. And
okay, Nitin, just wait. This is a fast-moving story. We also have Ashutosh Mishra on top of things on the story. Ashutosh, my question here is very simple. The Sport Authority of India is now asking the wrestlers, what are your demands? So we all know what their demands are. Why don't you repeat what the demands are collectively, because you've been speaking to the wrestlers as well. And what is the action that is being taken against the demand? As simple as that. Why prolong this and why make it more complicated than what it is?
Well, Chaiti, just do you see the mess kind of happening with this wrestling federation? When the women reached there for the training camp for their championship in Lucknow, the coach who's the accused of sexual harassment, he also goes and check in the hotel. And the sports authority said they have no clues about that. And when the officials goes there, then ask him to leave. So this is kind of mess happening. And this is just one crystal clear example and evidence kind of, the mess which is happening.
Live visuals coming in. Let's take a look at these live visuals. I believe they're from Jantar Mantar. Please confirm. All right, Jantar Mantar live visuals right here in the national capital where the protest is going on is also coming on your screens right now. These are live visuals where India Today is leading this particular coverage. You can see scores of wrestlers, very popular wrestlers protesting right there, and this is a protest that they are voicing their allegations against the Wrestling Federation. They want justice. Vinesh, Sakshi, Bajrang Punia, all upping the ante, raising the heat as far as this agitation is concerned. They are very vocal. They've said exactly what they have had to say. They now want justice. They're now waiting for the investigation. They're now waiting for the Sports Ministry, the Sports Authority of India, and the Wrestling Federation as well. The onus now lies on these three bodies. The wrestlers have made their point extremely clear in terms of what their demands are. These are live visuals coming in from Jantar Mantar. This is not a small protest. These are the champions of our country. These are our sportsmen. These are our wrestlers. They have a problem. The Sports Ministry, the Sports Authority of India and Wrestling Federation ought to listen to them and at least conduct a thorough and fair investigation to resolve their issues at the earliest. Ashutosh Mishra is now with us, continues to be with us. Ashutosh, first up, visuals coming in of the wrestlers protesting, and look at that, they're protesting in unison. We were talking earlier about how it is simple. Ask them what their demands are, conduct a thorough investigation and resolve it for them. How difficult can this be? Obviously, there is some level of politics that has been intertwined into this entire story.
Shots dikhate rahega, pan karke close wide. Well, Chaiti, for first 1 hour, these athletes have decided for a Maun Vrat, for a silent protest at Jantar Mantar. And today we see more gathering of the wrestling lovers, their family members, their loved ones. And today we will see more wrestlers coming. Remember the appeal that was made by Bajrang Punia and these protesters. They say they will speak to us at sharp 12 p.m. There is 1 hour going to be a silent protest by these wrestlers at Delhi's iconic Jantar Mantar, which is known for its historic protests have been happening. And here the kind of charges that were leveled by these wrestling athletes are no ordinary in nature. Last night when federation officials met them, asking them to call off strike, and this morning again we hear the news what is happening in Lucknow when the girls reached there for a championship. The accused of sexual harassment, who's the coach, happens to be the coach of the women's team, also reached there, even checked in, and only left when asked by the officials. So this explains the tragedy in the Indian Wrestling Federation.
Absolute
and
tragedy.
This is not first time. that it is happening between the athletes and the federation and the bosses. There have been multiple times and in different games when the athletes raised voice against their federation. Of course, many, that literally cost them for their career. Many lost their career just for raising their voices against the federation. This is happening in different governments.
How tragic it is to see the champions and the sportsmen of our country sit like that in protest with almost a deaf ear given into their allegations and the complaints that they are lodging. They don't have a choice but to protest like that in Jantar Mantar to make a statement. In fact, Ashutosh, Vinesh Phogat also alleged she was subject to mental harassment as well by Brij Bhushan. There have been sexual harassment charges against Brij Bhushan. Shouldn't Brij Bhushan be asked to step aside till the investigation is complete?
Chaiti, when accusations like sexual harassment comes in place, the first Supreme Court guideline says that there has to be a suo motu FIR by the agency, by the concerned policing department or the territorial police. There is not even an FIR. And what is more tragic to see, that we have often seen NCW being so proactive when these news often heard in public domain. There is no single statement from the NCW when NCW chairperson could possibly see or read the newspapers that how women are accusing sexual harassment charges and sitting here at Delhi's heart at Jantar Mantar. There is no statement from even NCW. So forget about this his removal or his resignation. These are the simply criminal charges and there is no investigation. And again, even if the FIR is filed, there will be a question that until Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh continues to be the head of the body, will there be a fair probe? Will there be a transparent probe? And that too being him of the most influential leader, very powerful leader. Despite being several charges several times, there have been hardly action against him. And moreover, being the member of parliament from the ruling party. So these are the serious questions, and that is also giving ammunition to the opposition camp. And perhaps this is the duty. Why only the opposition?
It's strange. You had Swati Maliwal, who is the chairperson of Delhi Commission of Women, who is with the wrestlers, who is voicing and showing her support. But Rekha Sharma, who is the NCW chief, has been silent on this issue. So where is the statement from the NCW as well? Because these are women, these are champions, these are athletes, and they're alleging something not very small, but they're alleging mental and sexual harassment here. Ashutosh, and that's a very good point about NCW. Have we questioned the NCW as yet?
We don't know yet. We have no response which is in public domain, and not even a single response from the sports ministry, MO Sports, or even the Ministry of Sports. So far, only one notice which has been sought, clarification sought from the Sports Authority of India, from the Federation on the charges, but there has to be some internal probe, and the internal probe will happen by the Federation. After all, they'll have to reply to the Sports Authority of India. But that is in condition when Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh continue to be head of the Federation. And look at his confidence when he's making the statement saying, let there be voting in the body, and more than 90% of the athletes will side with Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and the Federation. And of course that will happen, because remember, the athletes who come from small towns, small villages, can they afford to ruin their career? Can they afford to raise their voice against such powerful man who is the head of the federation? And this is often happens. Often, haven't we heard this in past, that sportsmen accusing the federation and the politician that they are threatened to ruin their career, and that perhaps mostly do not raise their voice. This is happening. This seems to be the extreme of the case, and perhaps this was bound to explode after an extent. And that's exactly we see this reaction. And they know there could be even possible consequences to their career, to these athletes who are sitting at Jantar Mantar.
Oh no, absolutely, Ashutosh. Ashutosh, thank you very, very much for joining us with those details. Ashutosh Mishra calling a spade over there and reporting facts as they are. Rahul Gautam also joins us. These are live visuals coming in from the protest site at Jantar Mantar at the moment. Rahul, have you managed to speak to the wrestlers and have their demands listed? If you could just list them out for our viewers.
Well, I'll just show you the visuals here. You can see these are the obviously budding, players, wrestlers, and who have now come here in solidarity with these protesting wrestlers. You can see these, these players. Obviously, these players who are going to, be national, international players in coming times. but obviously there are also concerns with the issues which are being raised by these protesting wrestlers here at Jantar Mantar, and now they have also joined and participating in this protest. It's a silent protest for 1 hour, and Vinesh Fogart, Bajrang Punia, all these prominent players who have brought laurels to the country, they brought medals to our country, but unfortunately those players are now sitting on a protest. Obviously, this brings bad repute to the entire sports fraternity and the infrastructure of the country, given the fact that these international players had to protest to make themselves heard. And obviously this also shows that how there seems to be some rot in our system, because of the fact that these players have been raising these concerns, but they were never addressed, and they were left with no other option but to hit the streets. We've been informed that many more players from various parts of the northern India are going to join this protest very soon, and obviously they believe this is going to put an enormous pressure on government, on Wrestling Federation of India to evict or to show the exit door to Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, the man who is under the heat, who is facing the heat from these wrestlers. But obviously these are very unfortunate scenes which are unfolding here at Jantar Mantar.
Well, they have voiced their problems. Their allegations are quite grave: mental harassment, sexual harassment, and then going on to even say that we now fear for our lives because we've spoken. All this is now no. The sports ministry knows what the problems are. We're waiting for a plausible solution. They've just said one thing: we will order an inquiry into this issue. But there needs to be more that needs to be done. And Rahul, is there any indication from your sources in the sports ministry that there will be more that will be done? Because just look at that. There are scores and scores of our champions joining the protest. They ought to be heard.
Absolutely. What we are learning from our sources, the sports ministry has already sought a report from Wrestling Federation of India that needs to be submitted within 72 hours. Putting all things on records about the issues and about the concern that have been shared by our champions. Also, what we are learning from our sources that it seems that Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is certainly in a very tight spot. There's a lot of pressure on him to come clean on these allegations. You rightly pointed out that these allegations are very grave and serious. Sexual harassment, mental harassment, and in fact, some of the players also accused him of having biases against one particular state. So obviously, these are very serious allegations, and and given the fact that these international players are sitting on a protest, staging a demonstration here at Jantar Mantar, which we all know the symbol of protest in the country, is only bringing bad repute and obviously making international headlines. We've been informed that many international sportsmen are also coming out in solidarity with these players on social media. So
Screens, more wrestlers have come out in support now. Olympian Babita Phogat shows support. Babita says stand with fellow players who will work to raise the issue with the government. Babita Phogat joining a whole host of other champions, our sportsmen, our wrestlers in this fight for justice. More wrestlers coming out there in support, and Rahul Gautam was just bringing to us as to what the stance of the sports ministry is as far as this issue is concerned. Please continue, Rahul.
Well, sports ministry has made it very clear that the Wrestling Federation of India needs to put all the facts on record, all the concern, all the allegations that have been leveled by these protesting wrestlers. And in fact, they've also made it very clear that it seems that an impartial investigation would certainly be ordered in this case in coming days, because obviously, I was telling you earlier also, this has brought bad name and bad repute to the entire sports infrastructure of the country. And given the fact that these people and these champions have brought medals and laurels to the country and glory to the country, but since their voices could not be heard earlier, they were left with no other option. You can see now these are the visuals. These are the champions surrounded by scores of media persons who are here, and in fact now these champions and these wrestlers are now saying that they're not going to leave Jantar Mantar till their demands are met. And their demands, I must also list out that they are saying that the president, Mr. Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, must go, he must resign, or he must be removed from his post. And then they are also seeking an investigation, a police FIR in this case. So obviously you can expect that our players seems that they are all set for a final bout with the management of Wrestling Federation of
FIR.
India,
What is
and they have
going
made
on that front? Is there any FIR whatsoever? Has there been a suo motu FIR registered by the Delhi police? What's going on as far as an FIR is concerned? Because these are grave allegations.
Well, yesterday, female wrestler Vinesh Fogart made this, very serious allegation that she herself, know around 18 to 20 females who've been sexually exploited by the management of Wrestling Federation of India. And obviously, they are at this point of time exploring all legal options. In fact, they also said they're going to register an FIR in this regard. However, so far they have not filed it. But what we are learning from sources that they are seeking a legal opinion on this in this regard. And pretty soon, and very soon, they're going to file a police complaint in this entire matter. So obviously, it seems that they made it very clear that they're going to make a Wrestling Federation of India pay, for their mistakes, for their sins, as they claim, that they have done in recent past. So you can expect that this is certainly going to gather more heat, and obviously this is going to put more pressure on government to take some action in this regard, because obviously this only shows that there is some rot which is lying there in our system.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Rahul. Continue to be with us. These are live visuals. Once again, viewers, first up on India Today, and exclusively we are bringing you these live visuals of our stars, our champions, our heroes, the wrestlers of this country protesting against the federation. Protest taking place at Jantar Mantar right here in the national capital. Our continuous coverage on this continues. I mean, it looks like the federation for the moment has left our wrestlers in the lurch, but India Today is with them, and we will continue to bring you all the very latest